Waking up early is the common denominator of people who are highly effective and highly productive. And this makes sense. You wake up early, tackle your hardest tasks before the world has a chance to wake up, and you're able to constantly bring it up to all your friends and make it your entire personality. Maybe not that last part. If you're a regular person like me, waking up earlier probably is something that intrigues you because all the successful people are doing it, it seems to be working for them, and I mean, who doesn't want to be more productive? I spent 30 days waking up at 4 in the morning every single day, and I wanted to talk about some of the pros, the cons, and help you guys make a decision on whether or not this is something that you can try. The greatest benefit that I've found these past 30 days is that I was able to set the tone very early in my day and get into a flow state earlier. This gave me the momentum to have a very strong and productive day. I didn't have to worry about texting anyone back, I didn't have to worry about responding to emails, I didn't have to worry about getting notifications on my social media apps. It was just me. I didn't have to keep Luca entertained and make sure he's taken care of while I was doing my work. I was just able to completely zone in, and it was pretty awesome. Now, being super active while the rest of the world was asleep was also very motivating for me, and I felt a lot more creative while I was doing it. The isolation gave me more alone time in my thoughts, and I was able to come up with video ideas much more easily. I was able to script, edit, and come up with different ideas without being distracted or letting the world get in the way. And this was absolutely huge for me. And knowing that I was waking up early and putting in work earlier, it made me carry myself a little bit differently. It gave me a sense of pride at what I was doing, and I was much more reluctant to waste any time. Now, even though I still got my 8 hours of sleep, even though I still worked for 16 hours and had my day for 16 hours, it just felt like time was more scarce, and because of that, I treated it like it was scarce. Having this much time alone was also very peaceful for me. It was calming to be left on my own devices and be able to have a peaceful morning or a productive morning, depending on what I wanted. Nobody dictated my flow but me. Now, it's very hard to have true alone time sometimes because I'm either in class, in lectures, in labs, with my classmates studying, with my tank mates dissecting, with my friends, FaceTiming me, texting me, social media, all that stuff. It's a lot. And sometimes it's really hard for me to just unplug and just focus on what I need to do. But when I was doing this and waking up at 4 in the morning, I'd say from 4 to 6 in the morning, it was completely peaceful. My phone didn't go off once, and I was able to really be in my own zone. I was also able to have a lot more clarity in what I needed to accomplish in the day because I was able to take a step back and get an audit over what task needed to be done. Obviously, I could have been doing this much earlier, and honestly, I was doing it much earlier, but waking up at 4 in the morning just made me feel a little bit differently about my day and the way I navigated it. It felt like every time I woke up, I was on a mission because it was just me, myself, and I really like that feeling. I can't really explain what it is, but I just felt much more in control of my day when I woke up earlier. Now, a benefit that I wasn't expecting or didn't even really consider, but I'm glad that it came out, is that I actually ended up saving a lot of money from waking up so early. And this is because I couldn't just go out to dinner with people and couldn't go out to bars or anything, so I was able to save. And since my bedtime was so early, I just genuinely didn't have enough time to do these things. My eating schedule was shifted to be earlier as well, which meant that I had to cook for myself pretty much every single day. And again, granted, I normally cook for myself every day anyways, but there are some days where I'm like, you know what, I'm exhausted, today was a lot, let me just go on Uber Eats and order something and get it delivered. But when I was doing this, I wasn't really doing that. Getting used to this early wake up time was very hard. But just like some of you guys, I thought the hardest part was going to be waking up at 4 in the morning, turning off my alarm, and getting started. That was wrong. The hardest part of waking up early every day wasn't the waking up part. It was the going to sleep part of the equation. Now let me explain. Now I talk about this a lot on my channel, but going to sleep and getting an adequate amount of sleep is crucial for every single goal you have, right? Whether that's your personal goals, your fitness goals, your academic goals, whatever, right? You need sleep. Sleep is absolutely crucial. I personally make it a goal for myself to get in bed and get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. That's what I need in order to feel recovered the next day and ready to take it on. The only problem with that is when I started waking up at 4 in the morning, if you do the math, that means I have to be in bed by 8 p.m. Well, obviously, right? Now, adjusting to the sleeping schedule was very difficult because the world was still awake at 8 p.m. It was asleep during 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and that was really nice, but it was still wide awake and there was a lot going on when I had to be in bed. I couldn't watch a lot of the basketball playoff games. I couldn't say yes to hang out with my friends at night, getting dinner with them, hanging out with my family or whatever, right? There was still a lot of stuff going on at 8 p.m., but I needed to be in bed and I needed to be sleeping. Now, don't let the hyper-productive hustle culture people fool you, right? Sleep is absolutely vital in order to reach your fitness goals, your professional goals, or your academic goals. Any kind of goals you have, you need sleep. Sleep is vital. Do you know what else is vital to your goals? making sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Because when you do that, you'll be joining a community of people that want to get better every single day. You'll be getting 2 videos every single week, and you'll be helping me out, and I greatly appreciate it. So while I was adjusting to the sleeping schedule, I would lay there, tossing and turning for 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. Most of the time, it was really just an hour of laying there until I actually fell asleep. But when you're laying there with no technology and you're just trying to fall asleep, it feels like forever and it's not very fun. On top of just physically not being able to actually go to sleep that early at times, sleeping at 8 p.m. left very little flexibility when it came to socializing or doing things that I enjoyed. Sleeping at 8 p.m. means no flexibility. Want to grab dinner with a friend? Well, that's too bad. I need to have my hygiene done, my night routine, and be in bed by 8 p.m. Want to go watch a movie or catch the first round of the playoffs? Sorry, but the games kind of start at 8 p.m. and I already have to be asleep by then, so can't watch it. I wanted to keep this challenge up and I already committed myself to doing these 30 days, and I actually had to miss my medical school's gala, which is basically med prom, because it ended at 10 p.m. and that was too late for me. 10. And the irony of that is there were actually students that were complaining to our student government and to our school because 10 p.m. just seemed like a very, very early closing time. But because I was sleeping at 8 p.m., it was way too late for me. Think about that. And before I made my mind up to do this challenge, I signed up for a nutrition elective in my school, which is basically every Wednesday on Zoom from 6 to 8 p.m. 6 to 8 p.m. That means right after that class on Wednesday, I need to be in bed. So to actually make that work, during class, I take my laptop and I brush my teeth and I do my night routine. That way, as soon as I got off that Zoom call, I was able to go to bed. So for complete transparency, there was one morning where I let myself sleep in as long as I needed to, and I wanted to exploit myself. My favorite DJ was playing at the Red Rocks Amphitheater, which is an absolutely beautiful venue. But there was a wildfire that unfortunately caused the Red Rocks concert to be canceled, and because of that, the DJ wanted to make it up to us. He wanted to go play at a local club. Now the thing was, I had friends that flew from Florida just to go see him, so they flew halfway across the country just to see him. I also had a cousin that drove 8 hours from Kansas to Colorado in order to see him as well. I didn't want to miss that. So I went and ended up waiting in line for 2 hours. By the time we saw his set, went home and got ready for bed, it was like 3 in the morning. It's 1 hour before my wake up time. I've already been up for 24 hours. I was not going to try to stay up and do a whole another day because of that. I was going to let myself sleep in. But that experience further proves my point that there's just not a lot of flexibility when it comes to waking up 4 in the morning. If you were committed to waking up 4 in the morning, you wouldn't have gone to see your favorite DJ playing because that would have been too late. You wouldn't have gone to hang out with your friends or your family that flew halfway across the country to go see him and hang out with you, or drove 8 hours to go see you and hang out. You wouldn't have done that. That's not a lot of flexibility. If you're someone who enjoys nightlife and hanging out late every once in a while, that's a very important thing to keep in mind. It took another few days of being miserable in order to readjust my sleeping schedule again, just because of that one night. It was not worth it. You're locked in. Wake up at 4 in the morning, check. Splash cold water on your face, check. Get dressed, drive to the gym, check. But wait, the gym didn't even open till 5 in the morning. So this is one of the most annoying things about waking up 4 in the morning is the gym wasn't even open. Normally I would like to wake up in an ideal world and just go straight to the gym, do some Anki reviews, do some studying on my iPad, but I couldn't do that waking up this early. And yes, of course, I could have went outside and did my cardio that way by running, but I couldn't effectively multitask and do Anki card to do studying while I was doing my cardio, which is what I like to do. It was also extremely cold a lot of the time. I know I've done the Davy Goggins challenge before, and I've ran in 15-degree weather while snow was coming down, but I don't want to do that on a regular basis. During these 30 days, I try to make the most out of that 4 to 5 a.m. window by doing a little bit of studying before I got ready for the gym. But I just couldn't really get into a flow. That 1 hour period was a really weird amount of time where I couldn't let myself get into a flow state, so it was kind of difficult and I didn't really like that. Earlier in the video, I told you guys that I was a lot more productive in the morning when I started waking up at 4 in the morning, and that is absolutely true. What I didn't tell you guys though was what happened in the afternoon. It doesn't matter how much sleep I got in the previous night. It doesn't matter when I schedule my workouts in order to optimize my schedule and give myself an energy boost. It just didn't matter. Nothing I did mattered. I remember there was one dissection where I was dissecting a cadaver with my tank mates, and everything they said, my brain was just moving so slow that I couldn't process it. I couldn't comprehend what I needed to do. I was getting really frustrated because normally I like to be prepared for lab in order to help them out and guide them and do what I need to do and carry my own weight at the very least. I couldn't do that. I always take pride in doing a little bit more, that way I can help guide other people whenever someone comes in and they're not sure about how to do this. I wanted to be someone to be like, hey, this is how you do it, right? I at least want to be able to carry my own weight so I know what's going on as well. but I did not like being someone who just struggled the whole time in lab, right? And that wasn't a good feeling, and that brain fog that was over my head the entire time did not feel very good. Now, it is really weird that I felt this brain fog regardless of getting adequate sleep and regardless of optimizing my schedule. My theory is that it was the perpetual lack of sunlight that was slowly draining me. Now, I don't have any direct evidence to support this claim, and I don't feel like doing a literature dive just to make a point here. I don't care that much, but I do know that the sunlight does play a role in your mood, your energy levels, your levels of arousal, and your wakefulness. And in this 4 a.m. sleep schedule, I wasn't even seeing the sun until like 3 or 4 hours into my actual day. And that is not normal. And on top of that, there were some days where the sun was actually still setting as I was already in bed to go to sleep. It did not feel very good. And on a personal level, I do just enjoy being out in the sun, and missing the component was a big blow to me. Even though it was still pretty cold here in Colorado, the sun always finds a way to shine, and I missed out on a lot of that. So you've heard the pros and you've heard the cons. The question still remains, would I wake up 4 in the morning every single day? The answer is obviously hell no. If you were to put me in a situation where I had to wake up super early, let's say I'm on rotations and I had to report to the hospital super early, or I'm in my residency and I have to wake up super early, I'd be able to get up early and I'd be able to do it without complaining. But during my first 2 years of medical school, we're just in our didactic years, we're just doing studying, book work, that kind of thing, and I'm in charge of my schedule for the most part. I have a lot of control on where I can put things. If I'm in charge of my own schedule and I'm able to move things however I see fit, why would I wake up 4 in the morning? It just doesn't make sense to me. On the basis of getting things done, even though my morning productivity skyrocketed, it was not enough to balance out the detrimental effect waking up early had in my afternoons. And the biggest thing is that waking up at 4 in the morning just didn't give me enough flexibility in my life. Now, I normally never really go to clubs. I actually hate going to clubs. I hate going to bars. And normally I do cook for myself anyways, but having that option is really important for me. And because of that, I will not be waking up at 4 in the morning by choice ever again. Now, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. I'd love to hear what you guys think. What time do you wake up in the morning? Do you think waking up at 4 in the morning would be a good thing or a bad thing? Go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.